Welcome everybody to Small Eyes Big Dreams with my fellow co-hosts Johnny and Steve. Welcome
Hello,
everyone.
welcome.
Sorry for
Um,
the delay that Bing has. It's
Why?
kind of Bing has a sort of delay, doesn't he? Or is it just me?
I don't know. Maybe you. Maybe you. It's a you
I, I
problem.
I think it's you,
It's a
bud.
you
I think it's
problem, boy.
It's a
yeah.
me
I think it's a
problem.
you
Yes, I
problem.
think
Yeah.
so too.
Okay,
Anyways,
okay.
yeah.
Anyways,
Why?
I think you would be pretty used to people saying that, because
Why?
I don't know, it's like a trend. No, everyone just says it's a you problem.
It's a yeah. It's been a yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a
You
yeah.
gotta get used to it, Steve, you know? You gotta get used to
I mean, I like the phrase "alone time" these days for some reason.
Alone time?
Like it's yes, if like someone does something odd, like let's say he was going too much.
Yeah.
Then I just say, maybe you need some alone time and just walk away. I
it.
mean,
Uh,
Yeah,
it's a funny phrase, isn't it? I like the phrase
it's
you've
alone
never
time.
said that
it's
to me before.
it's
I know. That's what I've got during this vacation. So I'll probably use this alone time thing the whole semester.
okay. And then they're gonna start finding you annoying. They will unfriend you now, and then you get scene zone, and then you're no friends.
Yeah, like
and
okay,
yeah,
that was too narcissistic. That was too bad. That was like the wrong way. The
and,
good way, people started using this alone time phrase with me.
and you start a trend, and then the
Yes.
trend ends, and then you keep using it, and so you're out of trend actually, and then you actually get no friends later on. Other people unfriend you. Bam. Something
Okay,
like that.
Johnny. Okay, Johnny.
Oh yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. No, the unknown
Maybe
friend
that's
is it's quite passive aggressive, isn't it?
yeah, kind
Yeah.
of. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's that's why I don't like texting people. It's because
Why?
I feel like I can never express my true emotions in text. Like
Right.
people might misunderstand me. People might think I'm trying to be like sarcastic or
Yeah, I
like
know. I
offensive,
know.
whatever.
Mm,
So whenever I want to just talk with someone, I always
Yeah.
say, "You want to call?" And I think some people think that's like serious, like, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
why do you want to call or whatever?" But I don't know. I just like text. I just like calling more than text. I feel like it's nice to know what the other people what the other person actually means, like
Mm-mm.
straight up, rather than guessing. That's
Right.
just me.
I'm
mm.
I really struggle with that problem a lot. But then I'm glad that I have some people who I can really talk to in such weird ways and in such incomprehensible ways, and yet we get
Yeah.
to get along. Like for example, Ding, I talk to him, but then if I talk the same way to someone else, they would 100% not get what I mean. They don't know if I'm being sarcastic, if I'm being real, something like that. But then I'm glad that I get some people like that, like around me. I got Gerrard, I got Mario, I got Cairo. Like my friend group gets me quite, but then some people
Okay.
don't.
No name. Okay.
I know you
Okay.
because we don't really text. We don't really text.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
text though. Yeah, we don't.
that's why.
Because I don't like texting. I'm really a no text guy. Like if you
Mm.
see me text, it's normally like short, like it's like okay or like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes or like because I don't like texting in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't like the tinny. Like I rather call,
Yeah.
and I don't even like calling. I just like talking and face to face. And
Mm-mm-mm.
so if
Yeah.
I have something to say, like really quick, I normally call.
Oh, yeah,
And if
yeah.
it's not really that important, I just keep it.
And to say
I
later
just
on.
keep
Yeah.
it and then say it when he's like around me, he or
Yeah.
she.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Oh,
Because I'm like a no text guy. Like no text.
what was I gonna
Like,
say? Sometimes I feel like this, the texting thingy, the misunderstanding, the text, I think that really goes to that sometimes merges to, you know, a bigger problem, like really misunderstanding the person. Like for example, I feel like in like relationships, let's say if the text style doesn't really match, and then they will misunderstand, and then they might, you know, feel bad feelings to each other, something like that. I feel like that's one of the also reasons why I don't really text much, and when I do, I try to be more cautious. Like, you know, I gotta think: will this guy get my, will this person get my joke, or else I'm like screwed.
Or like you
That's
can
true.
text people who you just really trust. Like let's say if I text Zane, and if he doesn't get my joke, no problem. But
Yeah.
like he doesn't get it, then he doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Sure.
I
That
can just
happens a lot.
explain later on. You know, what I'm
Just-
talking about. I
yeah,
can just
yeah.
explain later on. But if I make like a joke that nobody can really understand, and I texted that message to someone I barely know. Oh no, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
But if I do that today, no problem. Cause like I know he know me, so like
It don't matter. It don't matter.
don't matter. Don't matter.
Yeah.
It don't matter. You know, so I want to say something, which is over this summer, something I've like had trouble thinking about was how am I gonna communicate with my friends? Because there are a few, like even my closest friends, like let's say Johnny, Andres, maybe you, Steve, and some other people. It's like what, what? Hey, it's like I I have troubles like having a regular kind of connection because I'm not the type of person who like texts every day or like calls every day. So like something I was doing like in the last semester of school, I was walking a lot with Steve, and that kind of that gave me a good avenue for my thoughts, and it also made me a lot closer with Steve. And I was thinking like, how do I preserve that like even over the summer, or let's say next year when we're all in college. So I was
Yeah.
thinking, and so right now I'm trying to call one friend around 1 to 2 days every time, and then I'm just trying to kind of build that connection, especially to my close friends. So over the next month, yeah, I'm just gonna be calling friends and trying to establish that connection, because I feel like once we graduate, it's gonna be so hard to
Yeah.
initiate conversations. It's like you're on the other side of the world. You're like, hey, dude, wanna call or like wanna text for a bit, and I don't know. It just feels kind of hard for me to do so.
But at the same time, I heard advices from the older people, like it's better to keep in touch longer, but that doesn't necessarily mean more often. You can still keep in touch really long, like for like 10 years, but you can be only call for like, I don't know, maybe 3 times a year. It's not that much.
Yeah, I mean,
It's better than having a friend for like what, let's say 1 or 2 years, and you guys call like almost every day.
Yeah,
It's better than that. So I think it really
It's-
matters.
in terms of that,
I mean,
I definitely agree.
Mhm.
In some sense. Oh, I think what I meant was I just want to find kind of my comfort zone in terms of calling my friends, because one of my roommates, like right now, he calls with his friends every day, or like my brother calls with his friends every day, but I don't feel like I can do that necessarily per se. So what I'm trying to find out with this experiment, is like, how often should I call this friend? Like, to preserve our
Oh.
connection. And I know, like,
Mm.
maybe with Andres, maybe I can call him like once a year and we'll still stay like really good friends. Johnny, maybe I need to call him like
Twice a year.
once. I don't know. Like, I usually call Johnny a lot because it's usually for work, but I actually I feel like every time I call Johnny, it's productive and it's interesting and it's really engaging. So I'd like to call him maybe at least once a month in the future. And like with Steve, maybe like every 6 months is enough to preserve a good friendship. So I'm just trying to kind of understand that better. But the
Yeah.
quote is, it's like, I think friendship is never really, you don't need a specific time. Like, you could spend every day with a person and not get close to them. It's the quality of the time you spend.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if I've like my close friends, to my close friends, I really don't text or call because I don't need to. I know that they're my friends, even though I don't call or text, and that's why me and my close friends are close, and that's why I never really text first or call first. Like,
But you know,
cause like if there's like I need to text in 6 months or a year to maintain this type of
yeah,
the
yeah,
relationship, it's kind of insecure. The relationship is insecure.
yeah,
Like, you just text or call whenever you want to. After, like, asking, like, want to call or something like that. Like, it's not like you have to call or text in some amount of time. It's more like you don't have to. That's the stance, I think. That's the base stance. You don't have to
yeah,
call or text because you guys know that you guys are friends. Like, if you're real friends, you guys know each other. So
Yeah.
if you don't call or text, that doesn't mean like your relationship is wrong and it's going to the wrong way. It's more like there was no big event, or you guys both like didn't want to text or call at the
Hey.
moment. You guys were busy doing something. So for me, if I have like close friends, I don't text or call unless like there's my needs or wants, to call. But it's more like my like, mediocre friends that I normally text if I have to,
Mhm.
because it's like kind of seeing we're friends, right?
Yeah,
It's like we're friends, right? You're trying to check. You're trying to check.
yeah.
Now that you put it
Let's
that
say
way,
I don't text Johnny.
Huh?
Like if I like don't text Johnny for 2 years
Mhm.
at all, and I say, hey, jo- Johnny's probably gonna text me, shut the fuck up, boy, which means we're still friends.
What?
Like,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
like,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, if you know, like, to a certain extent, and you guys get closer, like, then I don't think you really necessarily have to text or call
Mm,
because you guys know each other.
yeah.
Yeah, sure. I think what I meant, to clarify once again. Yeah, I agree with you. Like, most of the time I don't think consciously, oh, I need to call this person once a year to maintain a friendship. And what I mean maintain a friendship, it means staying the same level of closeness, because I want to keep like the closeness level the same, because I don't know, I want that kind of close friend circle nearby me. So I think that's what I mean. But yeah, as you said, I don't think really with your close friends you don't have like a timer in your head, oh, I need to call this
Yeah.
person every 6 months. I just think, what I was saying a while ago is I'd like to call that person this much, because I think that would help us stay the most in touch and the closest, because friends definitely do drift apart. I don't think that
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to
Yeah,
or stop being friends with you guys. But I feel like if we don't talk for like 3 years, yeah, we're gonna drift apart. But if we talk again, that's gonna reignite it. So
Yeah.
it's all about, staying in that balance.
Yeah, but
yeah,
also, um, Yeah, I mean it is part of the process, but like what Steve said, if even though Steve might think like that, the other person might not think like that. So it actually goes
Oh.
back, you know. It actually goes back to no, I'm not saying that she doesn't like you. He
Uh-uh.
he doesn't like you. It's just saying that
Uh-uh.
he might not find, not texting normal. Maybe he might,
Mm.
come from a different culture or different nature where calling was so normal, and calling every day was the way to show appreciation of being a friend.
Yeah.
But then because
Mhm.
when the nature collides, it might
That makes
yeah,
I,
sense.
right.
I'd like to share something. It was this was 2021 December. I
Yeah.
was really depressed. and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
called Andres and Johnny every single day, like like morning to evening. I called them. Maybe not Johnny, but I
Yeah.
definitely called Andres like morning to evening. And at that point, I was sick of him. I did not understand how people could like call every day and like
uh,
like just talk about the same things
mm,
all like
Mhm.
every day. So I was like, this probably isn't me. Like, I'd rather like call my friends, whenever I want to, and like,
mm,
once a month. I think it's just, I just was thinking about it more because college is coming.
yeah.
And like,
Mhm.
oh no, I went out to, I always go out to eat in Taiwan now, and like, I don't know. I feel like if you go to a new city, you might feel really lonely. Like, do you guys have a lot of friends in Korea? I guess maybe Steve would, but like in Taiwan, I don't have any friends at all. So so I
Mhm.
go out and like I see everyone walking together. I'm just like, dang, I have to like kind of, restart again and
Yeah, that's
like
just like
go out.
college. It's
Mhm.
like that's what I'm also afraid of. If I even though I get into a good school, I'm lonely there. I will eventually be lonely there. And will I really, I and that deep inside of me, I know I will adjust to it because everybody adjusts to it. But at the same time, it's really scary because for me, I haven't transferred to a different school my whole life almost. I transferred like once only, but then there are people who transferred like every year or something. And for them, it might not be that, life changing. But for me, at least, I feel like it could be. That's why it's quite scary that one too.
Mhm.
Um,
I think Steve, one of the people like who's actually transferred schools, or
I
I mean, he's transferred
I
quite a few.
transferred like 5 times. So
Five
at
yeah,
the
times.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I feel like Steve has the ability actually. I mean, you might not notice it, but I think you have the ability to just kind of meet new people very easily.
Mm,
Like for me, I think it's easier for me to meet new people because I've been in Brent so long, but like you, if I was in a new college,
mm,
I think it would be hard for me too for sure.
mm. It's a whole new environment, and
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like everybody's the same, feeling the same way as you too. So
That's
that's
true.
that's like a
Oh,
good, motivation too.
because it's kind of surprising because I never thought it that way. I was always like, when I go to college and meet new people, damn, exciting. New people, okay. Then
Yeah, right.
like
Uh,
that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Because like meeting new people is exciting, and I met a lot of people. I mean, you
mm,
guys, you too, but like I met a lot of people throughout my life, so I'm not like afraid.
yeah.
But yeah, like maybe I have that like 1% of anxiety. Like, what if I don't, go with the vibe? I guess,
Yeah.
but it's mostly excitement for me when I meet new
Mm,
people,
interesting.
and like how Ding said, like looking at different people within groups and all that.
Mm,
For me, I like being alone. I like having alone time. It's like I'm more relaxed when I'm alone.
Mm.
You know, I think it's how we grew up. Actually, I moved school when I was in second grade, fourth grade, and fifth grade. And in fifth grade, I moved into Brent, right? That's three already. And I moved to Korea back and came back, right? So I moved a lot. So you guys are my longest friends. Like 5 years, 6 years. That's probably my longest friend period with anyone because I moved so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not that. I think it's kind of how we grew up. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
So I'm not that insecure about
I see.
new friends.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. I think I'd still be a little bit insecure, like meeting new friends. It's like I'm at camp right now, as you guys may have heard from the last episode or the next episode, depending on which we post
Yeah.
first. But
Mm-hmm.
the people I met here are all really cool, but you know, it's sometimes it's like I compare it to back home. Oh,
Mm.
that person's like Cairo, or that person's like, you know,
Mm.
Mario, or you know, whatever. It's like I feel like you'll always be homesick to where you grew up, you know.
Yeah.
I've met people who have been really homesick to like Brent even, and I can completely understand that. I think I would be homesick to Brent after I graduate, so it's all about that. And I don't know, dude. This is the only time we're gonna get in our lives. This is our last year together, which is really special and scary at the same time. I want to make the most out of it, and I don't know. We might. Yeah, I don't know. This is getting sentimental,
Oh,
but
but it is.
it
It is
is,
our
right?
last year.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Surprising.
I think that's a
Already.
good title. I think that's a good title. It's like a good like clickbait title. Our
Last year already.
dot, dot, dot.
Yeah.
Our last year dot dot dot. But
Oh, what, the podcast? What's happening?
yeah.
They're gonna be like,
You know, if you guys feel sentimental, what do you guys do? Because lately, whenever I've been feeling sentimental, I've just been taking walks. I mean, I take walks with Steve, but it's in the same area every time. This time, I've just been walking around the city and like just thinking. So I don't know if you guys want to try that. I think that's. I don't know why it works, but
walking. In Korea, I would do that. Whenever walking, walking really helps you think about a lot of stuff. And before, walking helped me thought of like a business idea, which really helped experiencing. But for now, right now, when um, you know, think being sentimental, I don't really be sentimental that much. When I do, I just look at the old photos, right? And then right now, while I'm looking at, I'm more of the optimistic side, because I know there's still 1 year left, and so I know these events will happen again, and I hope they will happen again. That's why, rather than being sad about it, I still have 1 more year, and maybe after I graduate, yeah, I might be a bit more. But for now, I'm fine. Yeah.
well, I
For
think the
me,
opposite for you.
actually,
Go ahead.
for me, like when I have these feelings, like being sentimental or being like extremely angry, sad, happy, I try to write lyrics and try to make up a song upon the feeling,
Musician.
and it really helps because when you write the song, you listen to the same beat and the same lyrics over and over again because you try to make more, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you try to add, so you go back to the start and listen and like add. And then like when you're in the middle, like middle of the song creation, you just get sick of the feeling because you just
Yeah.
had this whole lyrics and you were listening over and over to that feeling, and after being sick of that feeling just disappears.
Hmm.
I
It's
see.
really interesting. So yeah, for me it does. So like if I'm really mad, or let's say I'm really sad, so I write lyrics upon my sad feelings. And when I finish the song, I normally don't because I'm too lazy. I just go
Okay.
halfway
Okay.
and pause. But let's say I went halfway. Let's say I went halfway and I paused.
Mm.
Then at that point, my sad feeling is now
Gone.
really gone. Yeah,
Gone.
it's gone. It's more like I'm tired now. I just want to play some video games
It's
because
I think the
because it
same
takes like
thing.
2 to 3 hours. Yeah.
I think it's the same thing with people listening to songs. It's like as you
Yeah.
said, if it becomes so redundant, like you keep listening to sad breakup songs or like songs about, being sad, you eventually stop being sad because I don't know, maybe you're oversaturated with a feeling already, right?
Mm. Yeah.
But there is a downside though. There's a downside. Like,
The
let's say
downside.
you listen to the same song, or like me, like write lyrics upon that feeling. Sometimes, like one in 100. Sometimes the feeling actually grows and adds on,
Yeah.
and then you get even more extreme about that feeling. So then you're sad the whole week, like you're caught.
Yeah. Yeah.
Normally it's gone, but sometimes I don't know why. Maybe that day was something different. So then the feeling grows on. Then now you don't really have anything that you could do about it, which
Yeah.
is bad.
That's why
So
some people prefer listening to sad music when they're sad, and some. I mean, we talked about this before, I believe, in the other podcast.
I think so. I think we
Yeah.
talked about most.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but some people don't prefer listening to sad music, and instead they wanna listen to happy music. But for me personally, like in movie scenes, when it makes me more sad when the, let's say, the character's crying, but then something happy or funny is happening, and so the character tries to laugh through the sadness. That makes it more sad for me. You know what I mean? Do you get what I mean?
yeah, because it is more sad
Yeah.
than you just being sad. Like you have to.
Right? When you try
Yeah,
to
that is.
make yourself more happy when you know you're sad, I don't know, that makes it more, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think I
like
get what
tear
you.
dropping and your
Yeah,
mouth
yeah.
smiling like.
Yeah.
Nah.
It's.
When you're
I think the
forcing
saddest
yourself.
thing. I think the saddest thing I can think of. I don't know. I don't want to make it too dark, but like
Yeah.
imagine like a family member dies and then the next day is you have to go back to work, and then let's say you're working for a noble cause, you're working to help someone else, and work's tough, but you have to swallow up that sadness and keep going for that
Yeah.
loved one. I've thought of that before. It hasn't happened to me before, but I think that's probably one of the saddest like situations in the world. Like the world goes on and you have to
Yeah.
move on. I don't
Mhm.
know.
Um,
Like one of your loved ones passed away. That's
yeah.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
sad. Like moving on is, in general, moving on is really sad.
Yeah, I think stop holding on to something itself is really
Yeah,
sad. Like stop
it's
holding
really
on
sad,
to
like-
Brent. The moving on is
Yeah,
really
think about
sad.
it.
You
Like
know?
your graduation day. Think about your graduation day and singing that like what goodbye song,
Mhm.
Then
but
I
the next
probably
day
think some
you have to
people
wake
cry.
up.
Some people
Yeah.
will cry. Yeah. Because moving on is really hard.
Yeah.
I think yeah, moving on is the sadder part than the actual situation happening. Because when the actual situation like graduation happens, you're in your feels. But
Yeah.
the next day after that, or like the next 2 3 days, I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's gonna
yeah.
be fun, you know.
That's
Yeah.
that's the moment of, realization. Cause
Yeah.
when you're during graduation, you're actually with the people, but then the next day
Yeah.
and the next day, you're waking up alone, perhaps,
Mm.
and
You're waking up alone.
and you will know
Yeah.
that
You
may
know,
be your future.
in
That's why.
movies,
Yeah.
sometimes like um, romantic movies, like the guy or the girl like says, "I love you so much, so I gotta leave." That's so sad, right? Like
uh,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
uh,
I love you
uh,
so much, so I have to leave.
uh,
Dang.
Oh, you
uh,
know what I'm talking about?
no,
Those
no.
stuff.
Kinda,
Those
I
stuff.
think.
Uh,
No, what do you mean? So you don't want to move on, but you have to move on.
you're
That's
let because you know that you have to let her go. It's things
yes,
don't
exactly.
match
For
and
her, for her,
for
or him,
her.
or him.
Yeah, that is
Did we
sad.
Like,
ever do did we ever do an episode on love? Oh wait,
We
it
did,
was
we
our
did.
first,
we
yeah.
did.
Yeah, we
Was
did, we
We
did.
probably did a couple.
But it was more
no, it was
of
our first episode, right?
yeah. But I think it was more on the shallow side. It wasn't about the sad part of love.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd like to bring up one thing, which is a podcaster. I shared him with you, Johnny. Lex Friedman. He's
Yeah.
a computer scientist, AI creator, and professor at MIT. He runs his own podcast, and he's always under the notion that the key to solving everything, or the key to the universe, is love. Like, it's a really abstract thought,
Mm.
and all of it, but like even when I was watching his review on 1984,
Mm.
the book, like, because 1984, if you guys read it, it's really, it's like a totalitarian society, and like it's always talking about power and human motivation, but it doesn't give love its justice. And I think that
Yeah.
I don't know. I in my own personal experience, obviously it's very abstract, but every time I'm in the situation and I can put like a little love into it instead of doing something else, I feel like the action with a little love is always the one that feels
Mm.
the best, leads to the best outcome.
Right.
I know it's abstract, but what do you guys think about
Yeah.
that?
It feels like that's the right thing to do. You know.
Right?
Right. I don't
For
know.
me, love has a role for like people who don't believe in God, okay? Then they don't have meaning in life, right? I think love
Perhaps,
is
yeah.
what gives meaning to people who don't believe in God in life.
It does give subjective meaning. Yeah. I think anything could
Yeah,
give subjective meaning.
yeah, but like I think love is what, you know,
Yeah.
let's say
Many.
let's say later on you're married and your wife so and then you get a baby, okay?
Yeah.
And you love him so much or her so much.
Yeah.
And then even though you don't believe in God, now you have something to live for,
Mm.
right? Because you love the baby so much. So that's what I think love plays in life, kind of like giving meanings. So
Mm.
that's I think why the one who thinks it, like he said, like love is key to the universe, like to all problems.
Mm.
Yeah, because I think kind of works because if love generates meaning, it generates everything basically, right? So I think
Mm.
it kind of makes sense. Yeah.
I think you're onto something. I truly think love generates meaning, but where I don't agree fully is I don't think people who don't believe in God don't have a meaning. I think for sure they have a meaning. I've met many people who don't believe in God
They have their
and
own
they don't
meaning.
have a, but I think that having a God really helps you find meaning. I mean, we did a whole episode on religion, I think, right? And I think I talked to this with Mr. Fulo, but he said that generally, what he sees is like when he talks to someone who's completely atheist, you know, maybe they're a super cool person, but it's gonna be harder for them to withstand, you know, challenges or trouble in their life because they don't have that strong pillar, you know, of finding meaning.
Yes.
And I think as long as they have that pillar in their life, I think they're gonna be fine. Maybe it's gonna be a person, maybe it's gonna be a thing. I don't think it's God for everyone because not everyone's religious, and you know, that's
Yeah,
the type of thing. But
but
I think putting your meaning in something is the key. Yeah, right.
Right.
for me, I'm not like I'm not like a Christian, right?
Yeah.
So what I think is, if you don't have God and you try to find meaning, it's not stable as God. You know what I'm saying? It can change. Like, let's say your meaning for life is music. You think that's gonna last for 80 years? No,
Right.
probably gonna change.
I,
But if you really believe in Christianity or Buddhism or some other religion and believe in God, that doesn't change throughout your life. So that's what I think. Like, if you really want to, there's no like true meaning, honestly, because like we don't know. But if you want a stable meaning, like the meaning that won't change for you at least, I think you have to believe in sort of religion. Like
Sure.
that's what I.
Religion is
Yeah.
the most, I think, the most stable meaning in
Yes.
life.
Yeah, maybe.
So I'm not saying that atheists have no meaning, but their meanings, like meanings for anything, really is not that stable, and it will change.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not the same. It's not like having meaning for like something really strong. Like, let's say you're about to die, but if you truly believe in Christianity, you could be scared, but you'll still do whatever you wanted to, and you think you should do. But let's say I believe that I should do the right stuff, but I'm about to die, let's say, then I'm not going to do the right stuff. Like, some people might, but most of people won't, because it's not strong enough. It's not stable enough. The meaning itself, like, that's what's really special about religion and God. It doesn't have to be true, really. The God doesn't have to be true. It just gives that meaning. It just gives
It gives
that,
the
you know,
support.
a constant, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like pillar.
I was.
Like you said, pillar.
Yeah.
The people, atheists, the meanings that atheists have are like chopsticks. They're about to break.
Yeah.
But I'm not joking. It is like chopsticks. Because I had meanings. I was atheist for 18 years, and I probably am still. But my meanings have changed so much. So
Right.
Yeah.
the hard time, it doesn't really work because the meaning changes during the hard times.
Yeah. Sure.
Like,
I think.
you question yourself, like, I'm living for the good stuff, and like it's so hard now you don't want to. Then do I want to live for the good stuff? Like, it's kind of, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I do, and but I think no matter what, we'll always find the meaning whether we're atheists or not. Yeah, you're right. But like, for example, one of the things that's not tied directly with God for me is I, you know, made a promise to my grandmother, because my grandmother's relatively young, that it's a huge promise, but I told her I wanna I want her to be able to raise my kid, you know, so she'll be a great grandmother, and that's, you know, that might be
Great grandmother.
10 years in the future. I don't know when that is, you know.
Right.
That's You know, that's I have to talk to a woman first. You know, I have to say
Woman?
hi
What?
before. Yeah, I've never talked to a woman
Yeah,
before.
yeah, yeah. Or,
Well, you know, that's the thing. So that's not grounded in any religion, and that's super powerful for me because that's something which will help me make the right choices. Like, do I want to be a drunk in life? Do I want to be, you know, an addict to a substance? Do I want to
right.
do I want to pursue education, or do I want to, you know, risk all my eggs into one basket? It's these things I think are more powerful than you think, and they're more subtle. So I don't think you necessarily need a god for meaning. Yeah, for a
Yeah.
stable
That's
meaning.
why that's why I said love plays a role. The
Love, yeah,
love for your grandma is so strong that
yeah.
it generates godlike meaning. That's why I'm saying love plays the role
So
for the atheist to
yeah,
generate meaning, right? So like
yeah. So
nothing.
you agree with Lex Friedman's thing? Really? It's
Yeah, that was my yeah, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like so what I'm saying
Yeah.
is if it's not love, okay,
It's
it's
nothing.
really hard to generate that godlike trust,
yeah,
godlike meaning.
Right.
So that's why I said when you have a kid, you want to protect this kid. You want to live up for this kid. You want to live
mhm,
for this kid. Not because it's some sort of religion, but the love, the power of love is that strong. It's
Right.
godlike. You know, that's why I said, yeah, that's my
Love
point.
is the
The love
meaning.
plays a role. Yeah, for the
so
Meaning is
atheist.
you
love.
know, yeah.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
I think some final thoughts that could go into that because we were talking about in our last or our next episode, depending on what
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
post next. Johnny, Steve, and I were talking about, you know, college specifically and career, and Johnny specifically was, you know, really uncertain how a business degree would help him, or like how it would secure him. So I wanted to ask you, Johnny, what role do you think love plays in business?
Business.
Like, I'm not talking about romantic love or anything. I'm saying love, like what we just
It's
talked about, right? Yeah.
it's my ultimate goal is basically to to be more financially secure, right?
Yeah.
And that could strive from love, because I want my
Mhm.
next generation to not suffer from what, my generation was in, or my previous was in. So I want to shift that state, by striving into business perhaps, and then, you know just giving a different environment to live for the next generation. And I think that comes from love, because I want them to, grow up doing what they want. That is my ultimate goal. I don't want them to think about money. I don't want them to, be like, I can't do this because I don't have money, something like that. I want them to do whatever they want. It's like, I saw, if you look at Bill Gates' daughter, she does what she wants. She does horse riding, I think.
Horse
You're
riding.
right.
Shout out to our friend Rachel, you know, who does
Right?
horse riding.
It's not like a
Yeah.
it's not like a job where if you grew up in a poor family, you're like, I should do horse riding. It's like, you
Yeah.
know, people might, think you're crazy. It's like those type of things I want to provide for my future family. And yeah, that does come from love, but still, for me, it's love is very hard to grasp for me personally.
Yes,
I do
it
Do you
is.
grasp,
think, like, yeah?
I do
Do
feel
you
it.
think it is?
Right?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Do you think in
No,
business?
I was gonna ask you. Do you think in like business transactions, the
The
love
love?
specific? Yeah,
Oh,
because I was I think your personal like thing with love. I think that that's very like self-driven and motivated, and that's so cool. But do you think that it will help you with your problems regarding this, with your uncertainty regarding business?
love?
Yeah.
Love.
Um, as you said, you know,
I
anything. If there's something a bit more love into the decision that you make, you think it's more right, right? You think it's more, I don't know. Yeah, you think it is the right choice that you make, and it doesn't matter if it really is. It's just, I don't know, because you had so much, a bit more affection in that, in making that decision. I think, um, it kind of, I don't know. It's hard to convey the last conclusion.
in business, the component of love is only beneficial in what Johnny said. Because I know this kind of well because my dad was a businessman and he was really, really poor.
Right.
When he was a kid, he was so poor. He was like dead poor. He and what Johnny said is kind of right, I think. That's one of the biggest motivations that motivated my dad. Because he was so poor, he didn't want the next generation to be poor. And his love for the next generation and him in the future, his love for him in the future was big enough to
Mm.
bear him through all the hardships and all that. And two, I think he has love for business act by itself. He just likes business, like the act by itself. But
Right.
when you bring up love in the transaction with people during business, it's never beneficial. That's what I learned because
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I believe so too.
people are not kind
Yeah.
as you
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I don't know if you can give them love like you could if you're really kind. Like, because
Oh.
love is something that it's a very strong word. You could like them, but you can. It's really
Yeah.
hard to
Yeah.
love. And if you love them, there's no guarantee that they're gonna love you back.
Right.
But
That's
love is this thing. Like, if you love them and they betrayed you, you still love them because you love them. It's like family. So you do stuff that's worse for the company, which is not beneficial.
Yeah.
It's
But
like you sacrifice your company because you love it. Like that's what you do if you love, right?
right.
Like you get you're bare to sacrifice. But as a businessman, that's a component that you should be very, very, very careful of because it's more like you should have love for your own company. That's what should
Also true.
you know
Yeah.
yeah that's what should drive you, not
Right.
during the transaction. You really you shouldn't love the
Transactions.
opponent,
Yeah.
the other side. That's what my dad told me. Never trust anyone when you do business because
Yeah.
he had a friend who he trusted for 10 years and still after that he betrayed him. It's
Damn.
like that. Like people are not kind as you think, and maybe they were once. They change over time.
That's why I was talking again to Mr. Fulo and one of my other friends, Ben. We were just hanging out, and he said, for the most part, don't do business with friends. And I think he was talking more at the managerial level because you could argue with a friend about a position. He said,
Mm.
in a business, you really need to have, who's above who technically in the business. Sure. But on the other side of things, I don't think I'd ever want to mix up like my close friendships with actual like businesses. Like I know I do a lot of projects with Johnny, and like we do this podcast as a project, but an actual business I feel that we invest time into. I don't think I'd want one of my close or like my closest friends in the world would be you guys, and I don't want kind of that friendship to be in business. I don't think that's super beneficial, right?
Yeah. That's what I
I
also
saw
think.
that.
Yeah.
I saw that. Like in my life. My uncle goes to my dad's company. They were good brothers at the start.
Yeah.
But now the company has lasted for like 15 plus years. They're no brothers.
Yeah. I know.
Really?
They're no brothers. They don't act like brothers.
Man.
It's like
Yeah.
what you call
The
that?
society, like so, because like think about it. Like, okay, you're on a business meeting with the whole board. You can't call your brother a brother, okay? Because that's how it works.
Yeah.
You got so if you do business with loved ones, it doesn't necessarily mean that you guys are gonna turn out in a bad way. The relationship is gonna crash. I'm not saying that it will work like that, but you won't be families again. You guys will be good business partners.
Right. Like,
That,
go that.
That's how it's gonna end if business is successful. The only chance of two business partners being good friends again is business being collapsed before it gets too businessy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
that's
I
why
saw
I
my
don't want to
dad
do
and my
it too.
uncle. They're really no brothers. Like, they don't even talk to each other, like in private meetings. Like, I don't get it, but they get it. Like they're okay with it because they don't feel that bond anymore as a family after doing business. Unless like your business is mafia, like then you can still have that family bond, I guess.
maybe.
But like,
Who knows?
but like,
Yeah.
but like, in normal business in general, I don't think you should do business with your loved ones. You're not gonna love them.
But you know, funny thing, Bill Gates does business with his wife, and they strive.
But that's not a business. That's not really a business. That's a charity.
It's more,
And
yeah, it's more of an organization.
so that's why it's working out. You know,
I think it really
there's-
depends.
Yeah, it depends
right?
on their. It depends on the person. If they both have like this similar goal, like I read a book called. It's about managing. It's about managers, managing big companies, and throughout the book, for each chapter, it always talks about goals. Goals is the most important thing. You need to set your goal. You need to spread that goal to everyone to have everyone have that same goal for the business. And so I feel like if both partners have different type of goals, their personal goals for the business, then it will,
Yeah.
break off.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, that's what I think.
That's why we have like for Johnny and I's personal project, and for our student council this year, I just asked everyone what their motto, what their goal was, So
Yeah,
and
it is really
kind
important.
of knowing that kind of helps because
Yeah.
it helps you be more selfless instead of like
Yeah.
doing stuff for yourself. But yeah, I don't know. I think we can't say that for sure because we're not business owners yet, and
Right.
we I don't know. I still don't think though that I'm ever gonna start my
Yeah.
business with one of my close friends. I think though that money, on the other hand, I'm very willing to share that around because money hasn't been the easiest for me either, and I know it hasn't for Johnny. And just going, through this entire process, I think what I learned is friendship's thicker than money. So, as long as there's an agreement there, and respect from both friends, I think I'm 100%. I don't really care about money. I care more about the friendship. So if one of
Yeah.
you guys are in a pickle, I'd probably try my best to help one of you guys, regardless of that.
Yeah. Just
But,
share the
My
bank account
stance-
info, and then every info.
My stance on
Lend
money,
change the
honestly-
name.
Huh? You can do that? You can do that? I mean, my stance on money, I don't like lending money. Okay, even though it's my like close friend, I'm not gonna lend money. But I could rather give that money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because if you lend money,
You're expecting.
you got that relationship, right? You got that money relationship
yeah.
going. Then it
Yeah.
makes it kind of sticky, awkward between
think-
the friendship. So I'd rather give the money and say, hey, I'm gonna give you this money, but once you get better, let's say you make a lot of money, then you pay
Yeah.
me back twice the price. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's lending money though. That's
That is
lending money.
No, but you don't expect that. So like, if he completely fails with that money, then he just fails because I gave that money.
It's
You know
not
what I'm
that,
saying? So
yeah.
it's not like lending money.
No,
So it's not like you gotta give that money back. I'm giving it to you, but if you do well, and if
Yeah.
he's your real friend, he's
Yes.
probably gonna give that money
He's
back.
gonna give it back. And
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Yes,
It's again, dude. I'm sorry I'm quoting Mr. Fulo so much. I don't think he's gonna watch my episode, but
yeah.
yeah, he's not
He
gonna
better
watch.
watch this one.
But again, because I was talking to him about lending money, like his idea around it, because in the future I'm probably gonna lend some friends money, or what if one of my friends or family members, like my brother, gets into a pickle, like what's gonna happen? And he told me, like, asking for the money back, like, that is a sign of respect you're giving the other person. Because if you just lend someone money and you don't give them the opportunity to pay the money back, I definitely agree with you that, like, it's better to just say, okay, here's the money. If you're not in a position to pay me back, don't pay me back. But if you are, then pay me back. But giving the person that option is respect, because then it's a mutual friendship. If you just give someone money, you have leverage over that person anymore. That relationship's gonna be awkward.
Right.
If you give that person the opportunity to repay you back, that's number one, respecting that person and saying, I believe in you. I believe that this money you can earn back. You can completely earn it back by yourself and repay me back. That's why I'm lending you this in the first place. And number three, number two, it's showing that you guys have a mutual friendship. This isn't a pity statement. This is a belief statement, in the other person. So, yeah, I mean, that's my thought on that.
I see.
Yeah.
It's been a long. This has been a long episode because it's almost an hour actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 57
then-
minutes.
We should probably do part 1, part 2. 3 episodes in a day.
Well,
Kaboom.
wait, I forgot.
This was actually this was actually, I mean, if anyone's watched this far, this has been, this has been 2 episodes. The first one we talked about what uncertainty. Yeah, we're not sure if we want to put that the next episode or the last one. I guess we'll see. But
Or
this
we
one,
never put that episode out. Who knows? We might just
Yeah,
decide to.
No.
just my personal opinion, I really like this episode much
Me too.
more.
Me too.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, me three.
And since it's 57 minutes, can we just go part 1, part 2, and do 2 episodes?
Sure, I think that's
Change.
a good idea. I think that's a good idea.
Alright.
But I definitely think if you're a huge SEBD fan, you could, click on the uncertainty episode as well, and watch us do that. I mean, it's kind of, it's up to you though, guys. Yeah. And, yeah.
Right.
Anyways, it was good walk, good talk.
Good walk, good talk, and it's actually just in time for me. I have to go, because
Walk?
we have a 10-minute. We have a 10:30 call time. Yeah,
Oh,
we
nice.
need to be like checked off. But yeah, thank you guys for watching the episode.
Yep.
Johnny, Steve,
Thank
and
you.
I appreciate it. Thank
Alright.
you.
Thank you guys. See you guys on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.